Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Deliberately Intentional with me, your host, Remi Fagbohun. Today, we are talking about age. Yep, that thing that we don't want to discuss. I just turned 50. Yeah, I know. A lot of people find that hard to believe. But I think the reason why it doesn't bother me is because it's literally just a number. But I have to tell you why this is even a topic. I was with a group of girls maybe like 2 weeks ago, and she was turning 40, and she was going on about the fact that she cried. In my mind, I'm like, what the heck are you crying about? Why are you crying about turning 40? She's like, she hasn't achieved a lot. She hasn't done anything. And I'm looking at the girl like, but who's giving you this criteria? Who's putting this pressure on you that you need to achieve something by a certain age? Literally, I was really baffled. And I had to take a second and think about that. Like, okay, Remi, why do you actually think the way you think? And I had to throw it all the way back to, and this is going to sound weird to many, but I don't know if you remember J.K. Rowling, the author of all the Harry Potter series. She wrote her first book she released her books in her 40s. She wrote it at a kitchen table. I remember reading it as a 30-something-year-old woman. Yeah, I was 30-something. I don't know how many years ago it was now, but it was a while ago. And I read it and I realized that she made it in her 40s. And what I took from that is that it is never too late. As I said, I read a lot. And I know that this generation doesn't read so much, but you need to. You need to know your history to realize that nothing is stopping you from achieving anything at any point in time. But let me go back to what I learned from the Harry Potter series. Everyone read it, but they didn't bother reading about the person. Remember, I told you that I'm very deliberate and I'm very intentional. I always want to know why. I'm like, what was her why? What made her write that book? Of course, she went through heartbreak. She was divorced. She had a divorce. She had domestic abuse in her life. She had a bunch of things going on. But despite everything that was going on with her, she still pushed through. It took her time, but she pushed through, finished the series, and of course, you know how much money she made with that. But her life started. It didn't matter that she had been through all of that before. She pulled herself out from all of that to say that, you know what, I still want to continue on my path. It didn't matter how old she was. So why are we so obsessed with the fact that we're getting older? Like that means your life is ending. Yeah, I guess a part of you thinks about the fact that, you're 1 foot closer to the grave. Granted. But remember, there are certain things that we can't control. We cannot control the day we're born, and we definitely can't control the day we die. So why are we so obsessed with worrying about it? The way I view my life and every day that I'm able to be alive, my mom didn't get to 40 something. I mean, my mom died. I never talked too much about my mom, but my mom died in her 40s. So if she died in her 40s, I'm in my 40s now. That means I'm doing great. That's the way I look at it. If my mom didn't get here, when people talk about menopause, my mom didn't get to menopause. So if I'm thinking about where I am in my life, I'm doing good. Even on that little plane, just that little bit. If I take that little bit and I look at it, so for every symptom of menopause, because I am going through that right now, but for every symptom of menopause, I am not the only one dealing with it. Every single woman alive, natural born woman alive, is going to go through it. So why don't I find ways to get through it as opposed to complaining about it? How does complaining help anything? And that's literally my approach with everything. Every problem has a solution. I'm choosing not to take hormones because my symptoms are not really that bad, if I'm being honest. And then I also had an aunt who had spoken to me. I'm like, you know what? Try to get through it. Why should you get through it? This is something that is going to happen to you whether you like it or not. Even if you take hormones, you're going to have to take yourself off the hormones at a point in time. So why start something that you're just putting off the inevitable? Which honestly, if you think about it, makes sense. Now, mind you, I'm talking about my symptoms. Mine are not that crazy. But for other people that have serious ones, you got to do what's going to work for you. But stop looking at your life like it's ending. It's not ending. It's just a new phase that you're getting through. I have gone through so many phases. Again, when we started our periods and we started our lives, we had to deal with the hormones coming in. Menopause is the hormones now leaving, basically. So if you look at it like that, in the simplest form, every problem has a solution. How you view yourself and how you view your life is what matters. So for me, I choose not to worry too much about it. Yes, I know one day I'm going to die, but I hope that it's not anytime soon. And I'm making moves and I'm doing things. When I go to the gym, I'm thinking of the fact that I want to still be around. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm not as focused on the vain part of it. It would be great if I looked perfect and I had no wrinkles forever, but you know what? I actually don't mind wrinkling a little bit. That's what I remember. I have aunts that have wrinkles. I still love them. I don't judge them because they have wrinkles. So why am I so worried? I know the world has become very obsessed with looks. I guess I am kind of too if I'm looking at how I'm dressed today, but not overly so. I don't care if I have a wrinkle. I don't care if, I got a couple of bags here and there. It's part of life. You shouldn't be so obsessed with it either. So despite the fact that we're getting older, why don't we help the aging along? I don't have to let it all hang and go, but I don't have to be depressed about it either. So I approach every birthday the way I've always approached the birthdays, gratefully. If you've had someone die early, you realize that every day that you're here is a day that you need to be grateful. Stop looking at your life as if it's ending just because you're getting older, because you're not. It's not ending. You're getting older for sure, but your life isn't ending. Nothing is stopping you from doing what you didn't do yesterday, doing it tomorrow, or doing it the day after that. What stops you? You. The only person stopping you is you. So be intentional about your aging. And what do I mean by that? Make healthier choices. Realize that your body is going to change and you take good care of it so that body can last you for a really long time. When I talk to my son these days and I'm like, you know what, when I say go to the dentist, I'm like, you want these teeth to last for a really long time, right? Take care of them. Same thing with your body. You want this body to last long, take care of it. Watch what you put inside of it. All of these things are important, but also the pressure you put on yourself is equally important. Try not to. There's so much positivity that you can even put into yourself that will make your own outcome better. That's a thought, right? Yeah. Anyway, thank you, super producer Marv. We had another good session today. Short and sweet, like I like to keep it. My husband says I talk a lot. And your guys are going to be finding out that I do. Hopefully the podcast is getting better. It will continue to improve as we go along. This is me being vulnerable with you guys. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I seem to be doing okay. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Deliberately Intentional with me, Remi Fagbohun. You know where to catch it. All the details are going to be listed below, and we will see you again next episode, next week.